Yeah, gamers and gamers, what's going on? Gotta put on my swagger shades, you know why? Because I'm about to do my Dark Knight review, and I know a lot of you motherfuckers gonna be coming for me because y'all ain't gonna like what I got to say, but guess what? We're gonna do it anyway. Roll the intro, let's get into it.
My Kiru. Yes. Like, oh my god, if you don't throw that dark side on and that dark arps up, like right now, and burn all of your fucking MP, so, you can mess up in this dungeon and we can, freak on you, please. Like, if you don't do that shit, like, right now, we're going to bitch at you, and we're going to nag at you, and we're going to shut the fuck up. Gamers and gamettes, what is going on? Mike Hero127 here, bringing you guys my final Dark Knight video. This is my thoughts, review, and this is not a guide in any way, shape, or form. This is everything I think about the class Dark Knight, how I use it, and this is the final video I'm going to do for it, and it's just to the point where if you don't agree with my rotation for Dark Knight, eat me. It's a new class. There is no official video guide out on it yet. Not one single big YouTuber that makes Final Fantasy XIV videos has made a large guide out on it yet. So technically, if you want to be technical, besides, you know, little forums and internet write-ups and stuff like that, nobody has a true honest guide out for this class. Besides a lot of us smaller YouTubers with our opinions. But with that being said, I am one of those smaller YouTubers, so guess what? Here's mine. So let's talk about the Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is a brand new tank given to us by the expansion Final Fantasy XIV HEAVENSWARD. Has a really cool look, a brand new approach to tanking. Like I actually like this class a lot. I've enjoyed playing it a whole lot. It finally gives us a two-handed greatsword style, and not to mention, for all of you who have been playing for 2 years, you finally get a class that actually looks good with your brand new strife gear. So that's plus. Good. But I've noticed something, and especially on my server, that a lot of people have quit playing the class. Because here's what happened. We got this beautiful look right here. You know, we're a badass Dark Knight, giant greatsword, ding, 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 ding. You know, HEAVENSWARD launch days here. We're all excited. We're fate farming to 50. And then, you know, we're going to go play through the HEAVENSWARD storyline, the Dark Knight storyline, blah, blah. Then reality kicks in, and we remember, oh, shit, it's a tank. I never wanted to do that. And that's where things got complicated. That's where things got gay. That's why a lot of people, at least on my server, quit playing the class. And I actually have a few people that can attest for that for me, because we have seen a lot less Dark Knights around. The Dark Knight popularity has gone down a little bit, and now people have migrated back to their Marauders and Paladins. Dark Knight. It is a very unique tank, but at the same time, it is not a tank for beginners. By far. And the reason I think it's so messed up that they did this class this way, because to tease such a cool image like this, but to make this class so damn complex to play is nonsense. And I think that was wrong. I mean, how many 2-year veterans, you know, have been playing, you know, since they started, you know, never really tanked before and stuff like that, and you see Dark Knight and be like, oh, that class is cool. But you guys have made this class so insanely difficult. It's unreal. I think this class has a longer rotation than a freaking Dragoon, and that's like a 25-26 move rotation, not even counting, you know, it's new shit. So this is nuts. I'm going to tell you guys what I like, what I don't like, what I agree with, what I don't agree with. Now, Dark Knight, when I first got it, I was under the impression that it was similar to Paladin. I was thinking grit, was your shield oath. I was thinking dark side was your sword oath. But apparently, that is not the case here. That is far from it. Because you guys will notice something with grit and dark side. Grit. And guess what? Grit effect is still on. Dark side stays too. So both of these can be used in sequence with each other. And not to mention this little lovely old move, Dark Arts, here in the corner. Oh, we're going to get to that son of a bitch later on. Trust me, I'm coming for you, you little gay-ass fucking buff. But, so, why don't I like this? What bothers me with this? Well, let's talk about their effects. Let's talk about how they work. Grit. Your typical shield oath thing reduces damage received by 20%, lowering your damage dealt, increases your immunity, increases chance to hit by 5%, so also raising your accuracy a little bit. That's a really good thing, because I don't think you get the accuracy benefit with Paladin. Don't quote me on that. Not sure. And then Dark Side. MP is slowly drained while increasing damage dealt by 15%. MP refreshing statuses have no effect. So why does Mykiru not care for Dark Side? Well, that's where people get mixed up. Mykiru doesn't necessarily have an issue with Dark Side. I think Dark Side does have a very appropriate time where I think it's used, and I'll get to that in a minute. And this is where a lot of people are going to disagree with me. This is where the hate's going to come in. This is where the crazy comments and all that shit. But you know, I don't give a flying fuck anymore. Say what you want. This is just my opinion. You guys have an opinion too. There's a way the class is supposed to be played. I am 90% sure that the way that's out there is probably the way the class is supposed to be played. But guess what? This is my opinion. This is how I play it. Don't like it. Give it a dislike to the video. Move the fuck on about your day. Point blank period. But so let's get into that, shall we? Now, MP is slowly drained while you're under the effect of Dark Side. Well, let me tell you something about that, why that's a problem. Dark Side is already eating your MP. Dark Knight's Flash, which is aka Unleash, it's gives a big AoE that just damages all enemies instead of, you know, blinding them like Flash does. Also uses MP. It's a move you have to use pretty often in the Dark Knight's rotation. What's that? Uh-oh. Dark Arts also takes, let's see here. I'm a gear level 177. Dark Arts takes about 1/3 of my MP alone. And what does it do? What does Dark Arts do? Well, let's go discuss Dark Arts, shall we? And see why Mykiru has such a fucking problem with all this nonsense. Not only does it cost you 1,768 MP at my level, but attune with the darkness within you. Increasing the potency of several actions can only be used when succumbing to the dark side. Effects fade if dark side is cancelled. So it's not the fact that Dark Arts can only be used with dark side, because that makes sense. But you know what Dark Arts does? It increases the damage and adds a few special effects to a couple of your moves and enables you to be able to use some of these moves, period. I think there's a few moves on here that you can't even use without Dark Arts. I might be wrong about that. Let's see here. Like, for example, Carve and Spit. It, if you use Dark Arts with it, it gets an attack potency of 450. Now here's where my question comes into the way this fucking class is played. Is it a tank or is it a DPS? Because this is so stupid. I get nagged at dungeon after dungeon. I get bitched at because I'm not constantly throwing Dark Arts in the middle of my rotation, because I'm not burning my MP, which is used for me to keep aggro in the dungeon, because I am a tank! I'm not using it to do an extra 15% more damage. Oh, I am so sorry that I shit on your fucking ramen today. Because I didn't put my Dark Arts up every other damn combo and burn 1/3 of my MP every 30 seconds. When y'all give me 2 or 3 moves that restore MP, that can be used frequently. And not to mention, out of all these moves, only one of them doesn't have a serious cooldown time. That's Siphon Strike, but it has to be used in the middle of a rotation. And guess what? It's in the middle of the rotation that doesn't help generate immunity. Oh. Damn. So, why does that bother my Kuru, you say? You know why? Because I walk into dungeons, and I'll tell you straight up how I play this class. I throw grit on, and there's that time from you start the dungeon till you get to the first boss where you're just fighting nothing but mobs. So I go in there, and I fight mobs using nothing but grit. Do you know why? Because at this gear level, 90% of the time I am speedrunning, meaning a majority of my fighting is probably spamming Unleash, throwing Salted Earth down, and throwing in a few rotations here and there. Mind you, a majority of what I just named that I'm doing takes MP. So why am I going to add something else just to give me, the tank, 15% more damage? And at the cost of that, drain the main tool I need to keep hate, which is my MP. Now I'm going to tell you guys when I use Dark Side and when I find it appropriate. The second I step into that boss gate, that's when I put Dark Side on. That's when I put Dark Arts on. Start doing a bunch of crazy freaking combos and all kinds of stuff like that, and all kinds of wild shiitake mushrooms and everything. Because that's when I feel extra damage is needed. When you're fighting a boss. When you have an opponent with an obscene amount of HP that needs to go down. A little stupid level 60 cactar that I can kill in 15 seconds. I don't care about blowing my MP just to kill him 3 seconds quicker. That makes no kind of sense to me whatsoever. And thanks to that, this class has a very somewhat difficult rotation to learn, which is extremely complex for new players. Now, if you've played Warrior, you're pretty somewhat good off, because it's basically the opposite. Instead of keeping your TP up, you're just trying to keep your MP up. But if you've played Paladin and you've never had a serious problem, you know, with MP draining, because, hey, guess what? When I use Paladin, as much as I got spam flash, I don't have MP problems. And Paladin has less than 2,000 MP. This class right now has almost 7,000. And if I have Dark Side on, I burn through it within seconds. And y'all want to sit here and tell me that putting up blood price and getting back a portion of what these weak-ass enemies are throwing at me is going to just save the day? No, it doesn't. You know why? Because it never does, at least for me. So with that being said, here's my conclusion. I love Dark Knight. I think it's a great tank. I think it's the most unique tank that Final Fantasy XIV has gotten since the game has started. But I do not agree with the way it's played at all. Or what is being, at least what is being said right now, is the way that the class is supposed to be played. I personally, how I play it is like I told you guys. I put on Dark Side as either when I'm off tanking, or I use it in a boss room. Combined with Grit, of course. But I do not throw up Dark Side 24/7. And that's just what I'm not going to do. Now, no, go ahead and throw your dislikes up, you know, get mad, go in the comments section, you know, write me a lecture on what the rotation's supposed to be, yada, yada, yada. I know the rotation. I don't need you to tell me the damn rotation. Because if I didn't know the rotation, I wouldn't be able to make this video ranting about it. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy. This is a bit of a rant. I do apologize about that, but it's just seriously pissed me off. And there's just, you know, sometimes you just got to come out about things. And that's what I'm doing. But I do enjoy the class. It is a fun and great tank to play overall. But there's just a lot of his gameplay style that I don't agree with. And that's my personal opinion. Feel free to comment below and let me know yours, whether you love the video, hate the video, thought it was funny, or you thought it was stupid. Feel free to comment. It's your boy MikeHero127. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Peace, guys.